Welcome to our presentation of our data mining project. My groupmates Sharumati, Izzal, and I, Tasneem, will be covering our topic on crime rates prediction in Vancouver. On to the introduction of our research, we have focused on crime. Crime is a global issue affecting individuals and society. It remains a serious threat as criminal activities are becoming more complex and broad, making it a difficult task for law enforcement to understand the pattern and catch criminals. With the increased rate of crime, it can make the lives of ordinary residents uneasy and impact the economy negatively, as the amount of money spent dealing with the consequences of crime is costly. That being said, crimes committed ranges from theft, property damage, to more violent crimes such as assault, robberies, and more. Because of the changing crime patterns and how unpredictable crime can be, it is our group objective to help assist law enforcement agency in designing optimum patrol strategy to prevent criminal activities. To do so, we have extracted dataset from Kaggle and proposed a machine learning method for crime prediction. On to the taxonomy mapping. Our group has reviewed all the research papers regarding crime prediction and data mining and have came up with a taxonomy mapping covering some of the important components and similarities we have discovered. From the research papers and the similar components we have found, we have classified that into 5 categories, which includes data source, statistical, machine learning, data pre-processing, and attributes. We have focused on 4 research papers in more detail and has identified the main data source to offering datasets were Kaggle and UCI. Next category is statistical, in which the models that were discovered in the research paper were regression, histogram, and pie chart. On to the next category is machine learning. In all the articles, the data mining techniques that were experimented were with k-nearest neighbor algorithm, naive Bayes, decision tree, logistic regression, neural network, support vector machine, random forests were used to find which algorithm was best to predict the crime. Next category that all research papers had in common was data pre-processing, in which the data goes through the process of data cleaning, transformation, standardization, and sampling. Last category that can be seen is attributes, which is used for the data sets were description, hour, month, day of the week, longitude, and latitude. Now moving on to the problem statement. Major challenges that law enforcement faces is to accurately and efficiently analyze the vast volume of crime data, and for the fact that society and community is evolving led to the frequency and type of criminal activities to being more creative and complex. Thus, crime rate is increasing at an alarming rate. That said, many technology has been used to reduce crime rates and detect crime through ALPRS, which is used to equip on police cars used to capture license plates in order to detect stolen cars or suspects being involved in criminal activity. And a more better tool used is predictive policy, in which it applies analytical and quantitative techniques to identify potential criminal activities by making a statistical prediction on crime. However, it does have its drawbacks, such as a lack of accuracy, discrimination, and privacy concern. Therefore, due to the increase of crime occurring everywhere, the proposed idea of using machine learning and classification model is needed to understand the future crime patterns, and thus is critical to effectively detect and predict crime patterns with high precision and accuracy in order to detect and limit any criminal activities in the future.
Moving on with the research questions of the crime rate prediction system that we've built. Number 1, what is the intensity of the crime rates over these years in Vancouver? Number 2, what is the most common type of crime in Vancouver? Number 3, which neighborhood in Vancouver possesses the highest rate of crime? Next, with the research objectives respectively. Number 1, to be able to discover the seriousness of the crime rate in Vancouver for necessary precautions. Number 2, to determine possible reasons a certain crime rate is frequently executed and plan appropriate preventive plans. Number 3, to recognize the most dangerous neighborhood in Vancouver and increase the security measures accordingly.
Alright, now I'll be summarizing the research questions and objectives, but not the outcomes because we're still not done with the prediction system yet. So for our research, we have 3 questions and objectives. So for the first question is, what is the intensity of the crime rates in Vancouver over the years? And the objective is to be able to discover the seriousness of the crime rate in Vancouver for necessary precautions. And second question is, what is the most common type of crime in Vancouver? The objective is to determine possible reasons a certain crime type that happen in Vancouver are frequently executed, and then plan the appropriate preventive plans. And the last question is which neighborhood in Vancouver that possess the highest crime rates? And the objective is to recognize the most dangerous neighborhood in Vancouver, and then increase the security measures accordingly. And now we're talking about our research materials and methods. So as of now, we only have for our data acquisition. So the datasets containing crime in Vancouver was imported from Kaggle. The dataset contained 12 different parameters ranging from the crime type, the hours and neighborhoods of the occurrence, and the coordinates. And we split the data to 70% for training and the other 30 for testing. And the dataset was sufficient enough to predict the rate of crime in Vancouver and its potential threats. And lastly, all information from the dataset achieve our requirements for the machine learning prediction model as proposed. And that's wrap up our presentation on crime rate predictions in Vancouver. Thank you for your time.